Hey, it's your girl Madison Chase, and we are talking HBO Insecure, and I don't have to tell you, I have a special guest. Dun, 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 dun.
James Earl Jones. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, keep watching. Stay tuned.
I just took a flick with your girlfriend. I been kicking shit with your
You
girlfriend.
can do your DJ whisper right here.
I just smoked a blunt with your girlfriend.
Go, Darius.
I think that I'm done with your girlfriend.
HBO Insecure.
All up in my business, she
Yeah, whisper.
I been
Yeah.
trying to tell
Okay,
you about
so this is
it.
HBO Season 1.
I think that I'm
We're
done
talking
with your girlfriend.
Episode 6. Guilty as bitch, sickles, flip flops, whatever you want to call
Dark
it.
chocolate.
Dark chocolate in the house. But right now we got some caramel chocolate in the house. Tristen J. Winger, otherwise known as Darius. Soft baby voice ninja from Awkward Black Girl. And you do James Earl Jones impersonations. And yeah, that's super dope. So that's why we had you do the intro. So, yeah, we're going to get to you. I'm Madison Chase, and you can find me at Madison Chase Fit on Twitter. And so, my co-host, ladies.
Hi, I'm Paula Bryant Ellis, and you can reach me on Twitter and on Instagram, P. Bryant Ellis.
I love the way you say Twitter. Like, it's so proper. I love it. I'm Oriana Leo. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo. It sounds so sexy. And on Instagram, Oriana Leo.
Perfect. And Tristen, we can't leave you out. Where can we
Absolutely
find
not.
you on Twitter?
You can find me, Tristen J. Winger, on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, and that's Tristen.
Tristen, T-E-N, not T-A-N.
Oh.
Exactly. We want to make sure we talk about it. So, since this episode is called Guilty, dun, 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 dun,
I know.
we don't even have to take a poll to
I know.
see who is the guiltiest because Miss Issa Rae. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
and it started with the guilty breakfast.
Yes.
And the crying and the
I
tears.
know.
So you're a man, and I saw that you're in a relationship on your
I
Instagram
am.
page. So did you like kind of watch and put yourself in that position? Like, is this what people do when they're guilty in a relationship after you sleep with somebody? Like, I don't know, because I haven't slept with anybody, so I don't know what people do. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. So, from a man's perspective.
Not that you would be speaking
Not
from
that-
experience.
No,
Not at all.
right.
Yeah.
Not at all from experience, babe.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Yeah. So what would you say? Like, is this like a... How do you feel about this episode?
Now, are we talking about if I were in Lawrence's shoes or if I were
Issa's.
in Issa's
yeah, in
shoes?
Issa's shoes, yeah.
Ooh, that would probably,
Let's be real.
I feel like I would probably do the same thing. Like, you know what? Ah, man, I can't tell her right now. I know what I'll do. I'll make her breakfast.
Right.
I'll make her all favorite things. Waffles, baby, you want waffles? Ooh, and you got
pork
all
Real bacon.
Pork
Real
bacon.
bacon.
real
pork
bacon,
bacon.
because
Real
that
bacon.
turkey bacon sometimes it just
Yeah.
doesn't cut it.
It
So
doesn't.
get out of pork bacon.
It's going to make up for all that I did last night.
Right.
Yeah, but I like the fact that we saw her because people wanted her to admit to what she did. And so
Yes.
when you see that opening scene and you're like, yes, she's gonna
Uh-huh.
do it. And then she does it, and then it's like he pimp slaps her.
Yeah.
Cat Williams
Love it.
style.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
I
is
know.
this
I
really
needed. That was one of those scenes where I wanted to call him and go,
Yeah.
right.
you're acting right.
It was a great scene.
Yeah, it
I
was.
love that that was her little vision of like this could go really badly because it's ridiculous. He would never do that to her,
Right.
no matter how badly she treated him or betrayed him. So her mind's really playing tricks on her to keep her from telling the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it was kind of like a flip. Like instead of her rapping, we see this other thing in her head, this other visualization of what could happen if I tell him the truth.
The truth.
And so instead of the truth, we get the passive aggressive,
Yeah.
awkward black girl, Issa Rae, Issa D.
But she said that in the very beginning. That's what I
Yeah.
do well.
Yeah.
Very passive aggressive,
Yeah.
right? She says that in the first episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, but the thing that I was thinking about was like she was giving so many hints because she said splendid. How was your day? And he was
Yeah.
like splendid. He was like, oh, so we're using splendid now? Like, So I think he kind of senses something is
Right.
gone awry.
Right.
Maybe her panties have fallen off in the wrong place,
Right.
but he really, like, I think he senses something in this episode that something is not quite right.
So
well,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say he does, but he has no idea that that's the path he's getting ready to go down, right?
Yep.
He sees this change, right? It's awkward, but that's not anywhere where his mind is getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My feeling on this was like he's accepting what she's giving. Like, yeah, it might seem a little odd, but you don't think twice when you love someone and they're doing something wonderful for you. You're like, baby, thank you so much. Like, and that really broke my heart because I want to love Issa. And in this episode, I'm really, really, really disappointed in her. It makes for great television, great storytelling, but on a human level of like feeling for Jay, like just, oh my gosh, Lauren, sorry, like just, like, oh my gosh, the sense of betrayal is
That's
so
coming. That's
huge,
getting
and
ready to
that
come.
she obviously should never have done this, but there's so many opportunities to make this better or right, or at least do the right thing that she just lets pass on by.
Yeah, yeah. And that only is going to add to it, right? You know,
It is, the
after
guilt.
what you've done, you now insult him because you can't cook him breakfast and think that's going to.
That's going to make
Yeah.
up for the fact that you fornicated with somebody
Yeah.
else.
Or not even
Exactly.
someone else, but someone else you have feelings for, that you have
And
history
your ex,
with.
and your ex, and the fact that he's sensing something and she's not being forthcoming about really like what happened, and the fact that he actually fixed her. The thing that she was worried about was the YouTube.
Yeah.
I love her reaction.
And she starts crying, like
That was good.
like that's a big like reaction to you taking something off of YouTube. for
Well,
me.
don't you
Like,
think that was interesting too? Like that's what her boyfriend does. He's
An IT
tech
guy.
IT guy,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
didn't even consider or think about going to him.
Right.
Right. She runs
To
to Dark
Daniel.
Chocolate, Dark Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dark
God.
Chocolate Daniel.
And then what does Lawrence get in return? He gets betrayal brunch.
with the pork bacon though, Tristen.
Sure.
With real bacon.
Cool.
With real bacon.
Real bacon.
No, not
Yeah.
so much.
Tastes
Yeah.
like betrayal.
It does taste like betrayal. I feel like this is kind of the typical what I would expect a man to do, right?
You think a man would do that?
Yeah, a man would cheat
Oh,
and then be
flowers.
like, I'm not gonna tell you,
yeah.
and then I'll make you breakfast and I'll do something nice, like
And buy you
ooh.
flowers. That's normally when I think women get flowers.
Yeah, but well, what'd you do?
After they, yeah, like after
Lawrence
she-
doesn't see it,
He
right?
doesn't see it.
He doesn't see like what,
At all.
what, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
He's
he's just
receiving.
happy. I think he's happy
Happy.
now because he's been working on this business plan for 4 years. So
Well,
he's
and
totally
now
happy.
remember he stepped up. He's gotten the job. He's gotten off the couch every
He has
day.
boobies chasing him.
Yeah, so he's thinking he's being rewarded for that.
That's
what
true.
he's probably thinking he's
Oh,
being
that makes
rewarded
sense.
for, right?
That totally
Not
makes
knowing
sense.
that all this has happened.
Has it happened?
Yes.
It's about to really.
It's really about to go
happen.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, when you look at Molly's character, like, they're both kind of doing the same thing, but not in the right context. Because
Molly.
I know.
I know.
I was like, okay, so she drinks. This is one of the reasons why I don't drink. Like, the sloppy, like, coming to somebody's house, the drunk texting, like, it tends to happen when you like get so inebriated that you can't really figure out like what is happening. Like
Right.
I've never said I wanted to be in an altered state of my reality, and so this is why I don't drink. But she ends up drunk, and she ends up, I guess he makes her feel okay about actually coming to his house, sleeping on the
Passing out on the
couch,
couch.
Right.
passing out on the couch. Now, okay. What do you think, Jared, as a man, and you know that you're not the first choice? What,
Right.
what would you have done in that situation? Would you have told her, you know what, thank
And
you?
she says that at the door, right?
Yeah, she says it at the
said
door.
that.
She was like, bye, Chris. And she blows him off. And then she's basically saying, you're second.
Yeah.
So as a man, you're Jared.
I'm Jared.
What would you do?
I still have a heart. And so I would probably do the exact same thing Jared did. I mean, I'm not going to leave
Would you?
this woman who's inebriated on my doorstep, who is basically seeking help, is
Call
what
her
she's
a
really
taxi.
doing.
Right, Uber?
Okay, yeah, you're right. I can call her an Uber. I can call her an Uber.
Yeah.
You're right. But my first mind is to let her inside because this is a woman who I still have feelings for, who this is a person who I was like, you know what? Great, I got this great woman. She's a lawyer. She's got great friends who are funny. She's funny. I really dig her. Let me make this work. Yeah, come on in. Come on the couch, and then we can talk about this in the morning.
On the couch or on the couch?
On the back. You're right. You're right. You know what?
Wait, Paula, on the back.
Inside, chill out on the couch, whatever, stay right there. I got some water. I can get you some water out the faucet if you want. You can't have no Ross water, that's for me. But you just chill out right there. All right, see you in the morning.
I love it. Okay, so that's a great segue. Let's talk about your character, Thug Yoda.
Yes.
Love us some Thug
absolutely
Yoda.
love, and Cortez
Yes.
G. West is missing it
no.
because he was so excited about that scene.
Oh man.
And you're doing so well. So do you actually know any Crips and Bloods? Don't throw up any signs.
Yeah, we're not throwing up any signs here.
Yeah, no
this
signs.
is neutral territory.
Peace
Yes, it
signs.
is.
Out here.
Yeah.
Peace signs, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the neighborhood I live in is a neighborhood I grew up in. So it's, South Los Angeles near Crenshaw High. So there's some gang activity there, but it's not exactly what we're seeing on television. So these are people who I interact with every single day. They're my neighbors. So just like this is Issa's neighbor, Issa and Lawrence's neighbor, this is a person.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was very important to portray someone who is real and not just a caricature of a person.
Right.
Because we've seen enough of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just wanted to be somebody real where if people see me and they do actually recognize me, they can be like, "Thank you,"
Right.
instead of someone being upset
Yeah.
the way that I
Right.
portrayed them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Being a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
he's
fact
a
that
dad
you're a
first.
great dad.
Yeah.
You do a
Bear
great
Bears.
job.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
So
you.
completely different because I was like, he's got to be a little bit of that character, but you're totally not like that character at all, which I love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because I see you talk about your girlfriend on your Instagram. I'm like, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Love is beautiful.
She's the best.
Her name starts with a B.
It does.
So she's in the clear. I got it.
Yo, she got in before the show.
Before the show ever happened. I love it. I love it. We love it. So Molly, she is in a bind because they end up like doing the F word. I was like, this can't be love.
They're
this
all
can't be.
over.
Oh, this is not love.
Yeah, it's lust.
This
What she
is-
say? You still got errands? Is
Yeah,
that what
he was like, you still got errands.
I said, what did he say?
Yes. He said
She's like, I ain't got nothing.
I was kind of happy for her, just as much as this was the most pathetic situation
Were
to be
you
in.
happy for
Just
her?
because at the end, near the end of the episode, she's so blissed out, and even if it's false, even if it's just the story she's made up, like she's trying to cook, and like just to see this little tiny glimmer of hope for her.
It's the typical Molly we see,
It
right?
is.
And
Yeah.
she just falls hard.
and
Yes.
you know this isn't going to end well. Clearly, we see for the whole episode.
It could have ended well, so let's jump to that
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
So they end up having, she cooks for him, and I love that she mentions Chrissy Teigen's
I was going to say
cookbook.
that's one of the things
I love that they bring in current
I
stuff, and
know.
then they started doing it again.
Yeah,
And
Cravings
then-
is the cookbook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cravings is the cookbook. So shout out to Chrissy Teigen.
Yep.
And then they talk about Blue Apron. I was like, they are bringing in all kinds of like.
I'm sorry, if someone mentions Blue Apron during sex, like you're fired. Like that's not what we're doing right now. I'm sorry.
But he was like, have you thought?
Have you got
about it? I was like, all right, okay. Is this really happening? I hope not.
Hilarious. Great writing.
So
Oh
it's
my
over if they mention Blue Apron in the midst of.
Yes, that is
okay.
no. That's a no.
bueno. Okay, no Blue Apron while you're doing it. So yeah, then they started having this conversation about, have you ever?
Relationships.
This is kind of like, have you ever? I've never played this game. Have you ever, like, you drink if you've done something or if you haven't done something? I don't know. I've seen people play it. Okay, so then she discovers that she had a sexual encounter, which is such a double standard because why can women have this? I kind of get it.
Because it's different, right? That's what her friend said. It's different for women.
But also, she kissed. Right? Didn't she say she made out with
Yeah,
the girl?
she did.
Which is a little, although I would argue in man circles, I mean, I don't know. Let's just say that.
Because of the parts. Because when
It's
you
the
look at
parts.
the parts,
But
you
there
got two
wasn't even-
muffins.
But there wasn't even two muffins. It was just two lips kissing.
Okay,
Right?
but
They
I'm
didn't go
talking about-
all the way
I'm
there.
trying to tell us-
They didn't go all the way.
They didn't go all the way, but I'm saying when you have two muffins versus a bat and a ball, like
Yeah.
maybe that's not the
No.
good analogy.
I like
I'm trying to
But
think.
if the
maybe I could-
muffins had
a screw
collided,
in a screw-
would we have a
in
different
hole.
conversation?
What?
If
If they'd gone to the next level, because
The
if,
women?
yeah,
Oh,
because
the
if the
muffins
guys just
collided?
made out, because to
Yeah.
me it is a double standard, but we're talking about different level, like we're talking about different bases, if you will.
True.
And this is like, oh, how much do I really want to know about you?
But this was, I mean, I think with the guys, it was their way of making out without going all the way. And
Right.
with the women, it was their way of making out without going all the way, right?
But that's the thing I'm trying to get to. Like with women, you can only do so much. Like the parts don't really attach, right? But when there's an attachment or
It's not
an
attachment, it's more of an insert.
An insertion, yes, that's what I
Like
was trying to
Legos.
say. Yeah, like Legos. When the pieces don't fit, that's a great analogy, Tristen. Yeah, so I think that's kind of where the line is drawn. And we Paula and I had a conversation. I think for Black women, especially, we draw the
That's a
line.
deal breaker.
Like that is the deal breaker. So I've
been married 35 years. That's a 35-year deal breaker right now. I just want to be real clear about it. It's a 30,
That's a deal breaker. So as a man, do you feel like that's a double standard? Like if your woman said, "Hey, I made out with my girlfriend," how do you feel about that?
I mean, I wouldn't feel any type of way about it. Right. I would feel very comfortable in our relationship if she were to reveal that to me. I'd be like, okay, well, that's something that happened before us. It didn't happen yesterday. We've been
they
together
don't process
for.
it the way we
Okay,
do.
now
They
what
don't
about
see it that way, right?
this? What about this? What if it was your best guy friend that you kick it with all the time, and he says, "Tristen, you know what? I've been thinking about you, and I would like to experience something with you."
And I would say, I respectfully disagree with what you would like to try.
But what if
let's talk about
But what if their best friend was like, okay, in college I had this experience,
Right.
and shares something with you that's way long ago, and says never happened again, did it one time, wasn't for me, but I had an experience, an experiment. Like, how would you feel
about
towards
that?
your friend?
It's all love.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my best friends. I love my family. I love everybody so much. If someone were to reveal something to me, I would accept them because that's what we should do.
I hurt you.
We're supposed to love everybody.
Yeah.
And so, especially if one of my closest friends said, you know what,
That is sweet.
it's the truth too. I mean, it's how I feel in my heart.
Yeah.
I love you just because something about you, I received new information about you, that's not going to make me love you any less.
But I also think too with Molly, because she doesn't have skin in the game.
Yeah.
There's no skin in the game. It's not like Lawrence and Issa where they've been together for 4 years. Like they just had a one night stand.
Is Molly ever going to get skin in the game?
Right.
I mean, she just kind of goes from guy to guy to guy, right?
And so now it's kind of like, then she was like, I wish he would have never told me that. And I was like, I'm confused. Like you asked the
Well,
question.
and her thing was the visual. She couldn't
Yes.
get the visual out of her head.
And
so
to
that
be
was the
fair,
problem.
if you find out new information, like you said, deal breaker, Paul. If you find out new information and now all of a sudden, like you can't even get past it. Like you own it on you. Like that's your issue, not the other person.
Right.
But you have to be honest with yourself and your reactions. But I think it's interesting to see how all of her friends weigh in,
Yeah.
right, and be like,
Oh my God!
that was very
Straight,
typical.
Lee Daniels. That line with, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
That was
Natasha
Natasha
Rothwell.
Rothwell.
Yeah.
Natasha Rothwell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's a writer on the show? She's isn't she? She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I like her. Yeah.
So that was an interesting comment. I wonder how Lee Daniel feels about that. But anyway.
Huh. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Debbie Allen directed.
Yes.
Debbie Allen did direct it,
Yes.
and Amy Aniobi
Yes.
was actually the writer, but she was actually
and she's
in it. Yeah,
She was the flute player.
She was the flautist. flautist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was her.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then I love this one. So Prentice Penny's mom was in it.
she
With the big red hat.
Yep.
That Molly Quinn, yes.
Okay, we gotta talk about the Jesus play. Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Whoever wrote that, okay, it reminded me of a series on YouTube called The Black Jesus. Have you guys seen that? Have you've seen
And I
it?
think it's a TV show now too.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It
Hilarious.
started off on YouTube, but
I want to say it's on Adult Swim or something.
Yeah, it reminded me of that whole show. So like just the idea of Jesus being like a homie slash gang member slash gangster, but he's using the N-word, not ninja. But I was like, oh, that's funny. So the big red hat was Princess's mom.
That was Princess's mom.
That's
Penny's
great.
mom.
And then we see Ben Corey Jones
Yes,
in the
in the-
episode.
coffee shop.
In the coffee shop. So where Molly and Jared, like she's like, he's like really being really friendly with the guy. But I guess that's what your mind would do. Like if you thought your man,
that's what I'm saying. Like she can't get past it. So she starts having this she's actually, it's interesting, right? Because she's having the same type of imagination that Issa's over here having about what she's done, right? She's on the other side, and she's now imagining Jared, and she can't get those images out of her head. Every time she sees him with the guy, she's thinking.
But I like what you said about, she doesn't have skin in the game. Like, she was looking for a reason to not be with him in the first place, right? The one guy that might be better, I don't know, who knows in this show, like if anyone's really quality or at this time in their lives. But to see her, throw it away, she can't see past it. And that's okay, but she hasn't been able to see past anything, right? It's like foggy glasses. It's just, so it's interesting to see her projecting out of like, not being able to move forward because of this one thing.
Yeah, and she says it. I think she kind of questions herself, like, what's wrong with me? Because Chris Jadena, his character was actually like, I felt like he was a good contender.
I did too.
Yeah, because he actually like helped her out. He saw something, he sensed something, and he wanted to.
And I feel like she has to have someone as aggressive as she is. And I thought he kind of played that role well, right? Because she plays the type of character that is not going to accept or respect, which is her whole challenge with Jared, because he hadn't gone to college, right? She had such a big problem with that. So I thought that Chris was a good fit. So I was disappointed to see him exit so fast.
I have a question for you guys about, she does such a great job, Yvonne, with this doe eyes, where she goes, like as soon as she thinks that the guy might be interested, she like, her face turns. She goes from like Molly the attorney to like blink, blink, blink with the big eyes. And I just wonder, I'm like, does that work?
Obviously, it's not working.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it's totally not working.
She got laid if that's what she was going for. But it's funny how she sort of turns it, like she goes from real Molly to this like little doll.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
For us to say she's vulnerable.
Yeah,
she does.
because even when she got up from the couch when she was at Jared's house, she was like the doe-eyed, the sexy, hey, like good morning, like the sexy doe-eyed. So maybe that's what she does before she gets up, maybe?
I don't know. It's interesting, another side of her, but I'd love to see them like integrated a little more, like being the strong woman that can also be vulnerable at the same time and not have to switch it on or off.
And that's her MO, which is her problem.
Right.
She thinks that's what she has to do to get a
man.
guy versus just actually having a conversation with him and getting to know someone. But she uses her body. So, right, she's using her eyes, she uses her head. We see her use everything, and then she physically allows her body to be part of the deal. Right. She consummates before she even knows anything.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's deep.
Yeah,
I think it was interesting you said about alcohol, because I don't drink anymore either, very much. I mean, every Christmas will have like, a glass. But all of your mistakes go away. All of the bad behavior of like, I don't want to do that anymore. What's the common factor? Oh, it's drinking. It's,
Drinking,
kind of the scourge of society. If you look back in history, a lot of really bad behavior when you're drunk. And no matter man, woman, married, single, anything, it's like when you go to that other side, I mean, you can say drugs, but I don't know anyone that's, gotten in a fist fight over, because they were on marijuana.
Right.
But, the amount of abuse that happens and just bad decision making. So I'd have to say it makes for a great tool in the story, but in real life, it's also a great tool to just really mess up.
Right.
And be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. And she talked about doing cocaine. I was like, that's so interesting, talking about drugs. I was like, I can't really see. But I guess maybe in law school, like you're so stressed out and you need to have energy. I don't know, drink the energy drink. So let's talk about Issa and We Got Y'all, because she actually talked about doing a fundraiser in Malibu. And I love that she said, no, how about we do it in Inglewood or... let's do it in Inglewood so that the kids can see that there's beauty in their own community.
Yep.
And I love that she's still like insurging this kind of like Inglewood is such a great place. Are you a LA native?
Absolutely. Born and raised, still living.
Yeah. I still live there. I'm right there.
So what was it like? Just take us back to when you first started working with Issa on Awkward Black Girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take us back there, because I think it's so great. I mean, one of the things that I love about this whole journey with her is that she has stayed true to so much of Awkward Black
The
Girls.
original.
I was very shocked when they changed the name and they went to Insecure. I couldn't get it. I was like, I don't get it. No, where? It's got to be Awkward Black Girls. But then as I see it, I get it.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
I am so glad that she stayed true to those things that were in Awkward Black Girls. But anyway, take us back to what that was like.
Yeah, I remember, and I actually looked this up recently on Facebook online because that's when I connected with her. I saw she was working on her one series with
Did
her
you know
brother.
her before?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Oh, wow.
And we were in a play together in high school. And
What was the play?
it was called On Strivers Row.
Okay.
On Strivers Row. Okay.
Yes, and I was some jive-talking dude in a zoot suit. Everything I said rhymed. It was really
You
interesting.
both were actors. Okay.
We both were acting. And I messaged her on Facebook because she was working with her brother's series, The Fly Guys Present the F Word.
Right.
And then I texted her, I was just like, hey, if you need help with any of your other shows, let me know. I want to take my acting career a little bit more seriously. She was like, absolutely. And she sent me the script for episode 4 of Awkward Black Girl.
Okay.
And she said, yeah, I want you to play Darius. And I read it and I was like, okay, cool. It said, the description was quiet, low talker. And I was just like, okay, well, what low talkers do I know? Okay, well, Michael Jackson kind of has a soft voice.
does?
And just kind of think about Michael Jackson when he talks like this. Everything's right here.
And I was like, okay, well, what does it sound like if Michael Jackson were to whisper?
Everything just gonna be right.
And that became baby voice Darius.
I love it.
How
So was
long
that her
ago?
idea? I'm sorry.
No.
Was that her idea to of the character, or she just kind of said a soft-spoken guy?
I don't know. It just said soft-spoken,
And that was
quiet
what you
voice.
pitched. Awesome.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love
sorry.
it.
No, I
And
was
it
just going to
works.
say how long after you had said, hey, I want to take my acting career, more seriously, how long until you got that script?
Probably within the next couple days.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It was a blessing. I'm so grateful.
She's
Look at
really
that.
spread the love
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
so really
does.
spreading the love around, which is an amazing thing to see.
Absolutely.
And
She
not
has
only
to
that,
change
she found Sujata
much.
on Twitter too. So it's like
Yes.
she used what social media should have been used for.
Right.
Like creating opportunities, connecting with people that she's already worked with. So that's amazing. So let's talk about the whirlwind that now you're on Insecure and HBO.
Incredible.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So what has that experience been like for you?
It's been quite the experience. I've never been in a network environment, so learning that, okay, we have table reads, and we're going to have another table read, and there are going to be edits. We're going to send you more of these scripts. There's going to be more edits, and I'm just like, okay, whatever you guys want to do, yes. Yes, you want to change this line? Great, I'll adjust. Whatever you guys want, I will do it. It's just been incredible experience. Going to set, arriving to set, everyone there, the crew, everyone was wonderful. All the writers were right there on set as well to give feedback or to make adjustments or to say punch up this part or try this a different way. It's been incredible, and I couldn't be even more grateful.
So was
Yeah.
the role of Thug Yoda, so how did you do that? So you said when you were reading for Europe for Darius, you started to think about Michael Jackson and then a soft-spoken Michael. How did you create that character?
So, and this is what I do a lot. So I think of people who are similar. And so one of the first people I thought it was, okay, YG, obviously, big and black being blue. And then I was like, okay, cool. So we have that guy. Well, okay, well, who else? Who else can I think of? Who acts this way? And it's like, oh, Ray J.
So Ray J just kind of has this thing where he just kind of talks like this and everything. So, man, come on, man.
And so that's Ray J.
In third person, too.
Funny.
In third person
I
as
see
well.
it now that you say that. So interesting. So maybe
Yeah.
Ray J can actually come on the show.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, and then you're a father on the show, which
And
is
he's a father,
so
too.
funny. Yes.
Yeah, and so he's gonna talk to his daughter a lot differently than he's gonna talk to, everybody else.
Everybody else is like real hard like this, but it's like, baby, everything good?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, sweet, I love you so much. Remember, it's a B house. Okay, no C words. Hey, and so like I was saying, yeah.
And so there's that difference there, and so it's just a lot of fun to play Thug Yoda. It's
Yes.
so much fun.
A great
I was-
character.
oh my
Just to
God.
see both sides and to see this hard, and the tattoos and everything is like this hard, but this soft
The
spot.
love that comes with the
Yeah,
girl.
that's so
This is
wonderful
great.
to see that. And
I was blowing Jay up after that scene. Oh my God! I know he's going to be in more episodes. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I mean,
Yes.
that was such a brilliant scene when you guys were at the trash can and he was throwing away the stuff that he had bought for her birthday. I love that scene when you were talking to him like, "What's up?"
And
I
then-
bet you ain't put it down in a while either.
probably what it is.
Very real, for sure, for sure. Now, can you tell us about? I think it's called Mad Black Men.
Oh yeah, Mad Black Men.
is that?
That was Xavier Ruffin wrote and directed that, and so Xavier Ruffin reached out to me online as well because he saw my work on Awkward Black Girl, and he was a fan of the show, and the premise is basically, there's the show Mad Men, and there were no real black characters on the show, but there were definitely men in that world at that time, and they weren't being displayed. And so Mad Black Men is basically about those men who were part of that world, who were not shown on Mad Men.
On Mad Men.
And so I played a character who was an artist who basically designed all the artwork for these pitches and those pitch meetings, and would also go to be advertisements as well.
Wow.
Is this a period piece? You get to wear.
It was a
all
period
the,
piece.
Great,
Yeah.
yes.
I love all
It was
those
a lot of
suits that the guys
sexy.
were on back there.
Yeah, I grew my hair long and I parted my hair a little bit.
Did you really? Did you have to do a little fry dye later?
Yeah, I combed it over to the side and I wore a
Yes.
little do-rag
Ah,
to just lay it down.
Wow.
And no wraps. Did you get a wrap?
It wasn't long enough.
It wasn't long enough.
It wasn't long enough. This was right after I cut my hair.
Okay.
Awesome.
Because
Yeah.
it's pretty long now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might cut again. I don't know.
You're like, who knows? Who knows?
So let's talk about today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Season 2.
Season 2.
yes.
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 Awesome. Are you like
Season two.
You were
excited?
blowing up my phone.
Congratulations.
You actually
Congratulations.
put it on your Instagram
I did.
page,
Yes.
the marketing team. That's so great. And
They're
I
so
love,
fast.
yeah, very amazing.
How
so
exciting.
Congratulations.
How exciting.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
season 2, season 3, season 4.
Yeah, season 5,
Do you
a
have
movie.
any idea? Not that I know
Right.
you can't share it, but you can if you want. Do you have any idea
Don't get
about?
fired, Paula.
Do you have any idea about kind of where Thagyota goes in season 2?
I have an idea.
You do.
You do?
I have an idea.
Okay, so how many? Can you say how many episodes?
Nope.
Okay,
It's just
all
an
right.
idea.
It's an
It's
idea.
just an idea.
We'll take the idea. We like the idea.
But getting a
I
second
can be in
season.
all of them.
Yes, you can. Getting a second
Hey.
season at HBO is a really big deal, though,
Yes.
because once they hook you on for a second season, I mean, they're really putting their vote and supporting you and saying, like, we see this developing. It may only be 4 or 5 seasons, sometimes 6, but, like, I had a great show that I covered here on AfterBuzz, which was Banshee, actually, on Cinemax, but HBO, and the way they explained their set and their process is so much like the enthusiasm that everyone comes off this show with, and that I just want to remind you, this is going to be one of those amazing projects you ever work on because of the love and because of Issa and from the culture top down, that like you go onto these other projects and it's like, oh, I didn't realize how good I had it. Everyone from that show is like, oh no, we had 5 amazing years, right, where we became family, and then it was over, and then they all split and went to other shows and realized, oh, that will never be replicated. And I feel like that you guys have that magic.
And Jay was talking about that when he was here, just how different it
Yes.
was
He did.
to be on this set and the relationships already that are developing. He's talked about that. I've heard him just because of our relationship. We're brother and sister, if you didn't know.
Yeah, he told me.
But it comes through. I feel like that the love on the set and like it
does.
really
It
comes
does.
through into an incredible product that's better than all those other crappy sets where everyone's afraid, right? Is that when you have this kind of culture, it comes through, and I think getting a second season is a big vote
huge.
for that.
I'm
Congratulations.
so excited.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very
So excited
too.
for you
pumped.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes. We didn't talk about CJ's. CJ's was in there today.
Oh yeah, you did say CJ's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a
Because
coffee
the
coffee shop, right?
nonprofit was like kind of right down the street from CJ's. Remember, she was coming out of the nonprofit, and we saw the sign of CJ's on the corner. I love that we're seeing all of the things that we will not. And I don't know if it's because I'm recognizing them now because I live in Los Angeles, but these aren't necessarily the spots we ever see.
No,
No.
we never
About
see
Los
these
Angeles.
spots.
They
on
pick the same
television.
ones over and over, right?
Exactly.
It's the same stock footage they show over and
Yeah.
over. So LA becomes a character in the story, which makes it even more compelling.
And not just LA, but Inglewood and Baldwin Hills, like that area becomes the backdrop for kind of what Issa has done with Awkward Black Girl and bringing on the first series and other people that are part of her, I think it's called Color Creative.
Yes.
Yes.
So all that whole family, you see like Tiffany She's actually from a series that Issa Rae produces as well. So you see her bringing all of this in and staying true to who she is, which I think is amazing because you rarely have people that do that in this industry. That want to partner with the people who were there from the very beginning. Now, I've talked to somebody from Insecure. I'm not going to say who it is. And because people have been blowing up their phones, they've had to change their number. So, what changes have you made since you've been on the show?
Good question.
I cut off my beard.
I thought you were going to say I cut off my cable.
No, well, my girlfriend did have to lock her social media.
Did she?
Yeah, somebody took some of her pictures and created a new account.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So that was weird when someone liked my photo and I was like, okay, who liked my photo? That's not babe.
Like, that's not her.
Yeah, it was really strange.
What?
That's interesting.
You mean they took her out of the photo?
No, they like took a photo from her account and put it as their photo for their account as if they were
her
my
impersonating, and that happens
and then
a
went and
lot.
liked my
It's
photo.
disturbing.
Like that was just it was really strange.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
That is very strange. So that's the only change. She's had to make an adjustment, not necessarily you.
True.
Okay.
Yes.
That's not.
Interesting.
So nice of her.
Yeah.
It's nice of her. And she wants to protect her bae, so that totally makes sense. I would do the same.
And I want her to be
Listen,
protected.
You might not have had to make changes yet, but you will.
Yeah.
Right, because
Okay.
it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
It's coming.
In a good way.
In a great way.
Yeah, in an amazing way.
Yes.
Oh, wait, and we have to talk about, because you met Pharrell. So baby voice Darius met Pharrell. So what was that like? Because he's kind of like a soft-spoken, but he's so amazing,
Yes.
Pharrell. We love you.
Yes.
So what was that like, meeting Pharrell?
I just need to first of all say that Pharrell is one of the top influencers in my life because he's so amazing. He's one of my favorite people. He's the reason why I started producing music and like I was like, okay, I'm a skateboarder and Pharrell's skateboarder, and he's just like, you know, be who you want to be, and I'm just like, yes, Pharrell's the best person. And then I found out Awkward Black Girl was gonna be on his YouTube channel. I was like, yes, I was so excited. And then when Issa told me that she was gonna go meet with him to film the trailer, I was just like, Issa, can I please? Can I please come? And then she graciously was like, yes, of course. And I was like, yes, MVP. And so I went up to wherever it was, the director's house, I believe. And then I was hanging out there for what seemed like maybe about 30 minutes. And then they were just like, okay, Pharrell's coming up the elevator right now. And I was just kind of sitting there.
Was that like his security? Does he have security?
Yeah, he definitely has security.
Oh, yeah.
And then Issa was just kind of like, don't cry. I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna cry. And so he came in, and I'm just standing there, and I held my breath. I'm pretty sure I held my breath. And then he was coming in, greeting everybody. Hey, how's it going, Pharrell? How's it going, Pharrell Williams? And then he comes over to me, and I'm just like, hey, how's it going, man? Huge fan. I love your songs and everything. He's like, oh, okay, great, man. Thanks for coming out. And then he went in the room, and he filmed with Issa. And then he came out, he was like, yo, I didn't realize that you were actually the baby voice dude. I'm Awkward Black Girl. He came out, and I was just like,
Did you cry then?
I held it together. I just kept my eyes open. He was like, we got to film something. I was like, I was going to ask for a picture. You want to film? Yes, Pharrell Williams. Yes, we can film something immediately. And then we filmed something. He was cracking up, and I'm just like, this is such validation from one of my favorite people on earth.
Oh my God.
It's like, this is incredible.
Isn't that amazing?
Man, what a time.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing when you have a perception of someone and then it lines up with who they really are. And that's how I feel about Viola Davis. Like, she's an amazing person, and Pharrell is definitely
To have that kind of
amazing.
confirmation, like so early in your career, right? And it's so unsolicited. You were just so tickled just to be in his presence, right? To get that 2 minutes of we went to a screening of the 13th, and we just wanted to get like 2 seconds with Ada DuVernay, which it was
It's
crazy.
amazing.
And then Oprah was there, so
amazing.
Talk about holding your breath.
right? And we were like, that purse is Ava, and you were like, oh, we're almost there. And then security came and took her away. We were like, oh. So to get that, like you got that moment, and then he comes back
and says
about your work as an artist. That's huge.
amazing.
That's enough to keep going for quite a while, to stoke the fire, right?
Absolutely.
There's so much rejection. There's so much as a creative you're putting out on the line for people to judge and to leave at the table, and so all these wonderful things happening to get that validation, like you're saying. That's what a gift. You are so blessed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Yoda.
Yes.
That Yoda.
That's him.
Yeah.
Totally
awesome.
Thug Yoda. Okay, so I guess we could talk about the last scene. So Molly, Issa at a bar again. She should know about drinking by now. Like, don't do it anymore. And she confesses, not to the person that she should confess to, that she slept with Daniel. And then
I'm surprised
I
she
love
told
Molly's, but I love her reaction.
right, right. I love that she asked, because now you see a real friendship, because she asked, are you okay? Because she could
That's a good
tell
question.
that, like, this can't be a good thing. I know you're probably punishing
Yeah.
yourself, which she was.
Yeah.
And she was like, you can't tell him. But then we see on the next episode where Daniel shows up
Right.
at the nonprofit,
Profit
and her
benefit.
face is priceless. She's like, I can't believe that I'm gonna have to have this conversation. Oh, and we didn't talk about the text message that he sees on her phone that says, so we're really not talking.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like the scene before that when she comes home from talking with Molly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love how now she walks in the bathroom and it's Lawrence.
Yes,
mirror.
in the mirror.
Right?
That's so
Getting that
interesting.
confidence, right?
Yes.
Because
Job
Issa's in a
interview,
place,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Issa's in a place where she can barely look at herself, right?
she
So I
can't-
love,
oh,
I love
that's
the whole
interesting.
symbolism with the mirror.
Yeah.
And so now, as Lawrence's confidence is going up,
That's so interesting.
he is
Paula.
in front of the mirror now, giving himself the pep talk, right?
Yes.
And she's in the background.
Yes.
I love symbolism.
That's
Yeah, no.
amazing. And we
Yes.
didn't talk about the ring, because she's still so guilty about.
Yeah, she couldn't even try one on.
She couldn't even try. She did try it on, but she keeps hearing and feeling Daniel's spirit. Huh.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's having these little flashbacks trying to be intimate with her man, and she can't because she's having these flashbacks, which frankly she should, and she should feel terrible.
She should.
You know, like if you could block it all out, that would probably disturb me more. But poor Lawrence, and I'm glad she did what she did, because it would be so unthinkable to have both of those guys in the same 24-hour period or whatever that is. Like, that is so
Molly didn't have a problem
wrong.
with it.
Well,
Molly definitely doesn't have a
didn't have a
problem.
problem.
she's also not committed, right?
At
She's
all.
not. She doesn't have someone that she's keeping a promise to, you
Yeah.
know, and like that's what makes this so yucky.
Yeah. And that's why I think we're going to see Lawrence and Tasha. I think that's coming.
But you know, we talked about this a few minutes ago. I love that even with the language, because the language sometimes is a lot.
Right.
I love that in the sex scene, you know, this intimate scene
Oh,
where they're
yes.
making love.
Yes.
That Issa
She's still
has
very
on her
like
bra.
traditional.
Yeah.
Her bra and her
she
panties.
has on
Regular
Granny panties, pink granny panties. I was like,
Yes.
were those Rite Aid panties?
Yes.
Because they might have been Rite Aid
They
panties.
might be.
I
Or
love
Fruit of
that.
the Looms, maybe, possibly.
Right?
Those are like
Because
the
there's something still wholesome and
Yes, I
and,
agree.
You know, just very innocent
That's a good
about that.
point.
I
That's
like that.
another really good point, because the
Yeah.
opposite with Daniel is this seductive, sexy, darker, like other side that maybe hasn't been explored for a long time, or if ever with her. And this is a much more wholesome, you know, experience. But it may not
And then
be as
also
balanced.
you see the scenes with Molly or just wherever, like bang,
Yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
eat dinner. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
So
that's-
but I like that scene with them.
Yeah, I do too. I like that there's still a little bit of innocence in their like wholesome relationship, even though she cheated. Which is interesting because she still had her bra on. When we see flashbacks, we actually see her topless, but
The one
only
back
her
scene,
back,
right.
just
Yeah.
of her back. Which is still,
Right.
I like the way they're shooting it. And
Right.
if I were Issa, I would probably do the same thing. And even with Yvonne, because I know Yvonne has a stance that is not.
She likes to rock.
Yeah, that she likes to rock, and so she is very like we're not seeing anything of her. She's completely covered, which I think is true to who Issa is, and probably really valuing where Molly is, i.e. Yvonne Orji really is in her life. So I think that's a great thing. So Tristen, we want to know where we could find you on. We already know, Tristen. You do your social
Absolutely.
media.
At Tristen J. Winger.
And do you have anything else coming up? Because I know you said you do music. So do you have anything
Yeah.
that you're working on that you want to share with the people out there?
Right now, just doing a lot of writing. You know,
Writing
everything
to
that's happening
direct,
with-
to produce.
Writing to
Sing
hopefully
songs?
star in, direct
Okay.
as well.
I love it.
that
And
would be
music
awesome.
too,
And I would love to produce music for what I'm writing as well.
which is so
Which will
important.
happen.
Yeah, because you see with Issa's show how music. I think when you watch something that doesn't have music and then you actually see something when the music can make or break a television show or a film. And so we're really seeing this. So for the fact that you do music and you want to produce your own thing. Congratulations. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be
congrats.
amazing because you've had epic parts. So I'm sure you're going to write something epic for your show as well.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for watching. I'm Madison Chase, and you can find me on Twitter at Madison Chase Fit. And ladies,
I am Paula Bryant Ellis, and you can reach me on Instagram or Twitter at @PBryantEllis.
I love Twitter. It's so nice. Cortez is the same thing. I'm Oriana Leo. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo or on Instagram at Oriana Leo. Thanks for a great show, you guys.
Thank you, ladies.
thanks for watching.
Yes.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.